So since just a few minutes ago, I've just kept looking for an answer to my question, what is the functional value of gold and or silver? I would ask the functional value of iron is obvious, and iron has an actual function, functional value, which is both good for our physiological beings, and and then comes the whole association with um guns and all that. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, our bodies need iron, and we need iron for structural building, but I'm not so certain we do. Um, because even as I'm thinking about iron as a as a as a having a functional value, it as the solar system is, I always get dragged off into, because everything, my thought processes are constantly um digesting and evolving information. And when I think about the chaotic condition of, and I'm only going by what information I receive, um, as in what is actual real time, what is, and honestly, I think it's next to impossible for NASA or any other space program to obtain real time information because of light year time and all that. And as I've talked about in other videos, that I believe that there's certain things that have already happened, that it's like we're living within this huge time warp, um, whereby we're panicking and we don't even know why we're panicking. And I'm not trying to start any kind of panic further than what already is. But anyway, so as the solar system calms down, and and if life on Earth becomes a more calm and peaceful and weather phenomena comes to this place where everything is ambient, everything is at a, there's little wind, there's the average temperature around the globe is 70 degrees Fahrenheit. The tsunamis and the way and hurricanes cease to exist in within weather systems. Um, if that type of existence on Earth comes to fruition, and I honestly think it's possible, um, then the need for iron in building isn't going to be a need. So their iron in that form is going to be less have a functional value, I think, because then we can just build buildings of wood and as little iron as needed. Um, which within a plan to construct greenhouses, and the thing and the blueprint of how I would design a greenhouse, little metal would be used, or as little as possible. It would be mostly wood framing and glass and diamond dust, with the foundation being a polymer or plastic foundation. Like, in other words, I would dig a big city block square and then make form a polymer. I think polymer is the right word, a plastic mold, and set it in, instead of it being a concrete thing. Drill holes in the bottom. I don't even think that drilling holes in the bottom for drainage would be a necessity if you recycled the moisture to keep the humidity in the greenhouse, which is sort of the whole part of the whole water conservation and all of that idea, to recycle the water and just have it be the way the earth is, a recycling water system. So back to the gold and silver functional value, and myself personally, I would still give iron the most having the most functional monetary value of the three. And I'm only basing it on information that I have, because I have not, like I stated on my other video, I have not received information about a functional value of gold or silver in what seems to be the most important races going on, which is the energy race and the space race. And I think that within the space race includes the automobile industry, which should have been phased out a long time ago, as I've talked about many times, and I talked about yesterday, in as how it exists today, because there's too many cars on the roads, there's too many car accidents, blah, blah, blah. And having a system of drone mobiles, which were supposed to be on the market and available for purchase to the public, as in, I don't like the word to use the word general public, because the military definition and interpretation. But here's this article that I found online, and it's marketslant.com. NASA asteroid has 10,000 quadrillion in iron, gold, and silver. And then it says psych underneath of the photo of the asteroid. Oh my gosh. And so you always have to because now what's coming into mind is my personal story, and true story, about laying in the grass over when I was a homeless person still in 2013. And I was laying in the grass sleeping, and happened to look up at the sky and witnessed like a metallic explosion in the sky, honestly. And I could clearly see it. And I didn't know what it was or anything, but now this picture on this particular article, and something that I watched on a YouTube video on television, yesterday evening, and the lies within the reports of the stories that I've got, because this satellite on this picture that I'm looking at within this article, online article, looks like possibly what exploded and reached Earth, based on the photo that was on the video that I watched yesterday evening. I hope anyone can follow what I'm saying. It is confusing. When you're trying to decipher real information from what whoever is turning a profit from the advertised information being presented. So this article, NASA asteroid has 10,000 quadrillion dollars in iron, gold, and silver. And there's a picture. And then, like I said, in big letters, it says Psyche, Psyche, as in what comes to my mind, because of what I watched yesterday evening, is that old, when people used to go, a certain population of people who used it frequently, and then it started catching on into other populations. The way it was pronounced, psych, like jokes on you kind of thing. That's what I'm hearing as I'm looking at this photo and this article. So going further, leave it to Daily Mail to give us the headline of the week: Space Economic Collapse, and the biggest dollar amount in a headline ever, all in one story. A little bit of hype going on there. Space economic collapse and the biggest dollar. The key information there that is the subliminal that we're supposed to breeze by and just accept is space economic collapse and the biggest dollar amount in headline ever. It's like there's a whole bunch of subliminal, and the forefront is this big sort of I would call it I don't know, that doesn't matter. NASA brings forward mission to explore a 10,000 quadrillion metal asteroid that could cause the world's economy to collapse. First of all, the dollar value assigned is a hype value in the first place to get your attention. And then it goes on, 16 Psyche is a huge chunk of metal, because that's what they called it, Psyche, made up of iron, nickel, and precious metals. On Earth, the iron would be worth 8,072 quadrillion pounds, which is equivalent, or approximately equivalent to 10,000 quadrillion US dollars. NASA has brought the mission launch forward to 2022, and it will arrive in 2026. Again, I'm thinking about my real-time observation in 2013 of this very metallic explosion that I witnessed in the sky, in the night sky, and that was 2013, and I'm almost certain that this photo appearing on this article and the show, I can't remember what it was called, or the video that I watched yesterday evening, and this is January 24th, 2023, that I'm speaking in right now. So there's a give or take a few months, because I think that was probably close to I can't remember what season it was that I witnessed that explosion in the sky. But it was 2013. So we're talking almost a decade later. And this article is talking about bringing forward, and I feel very confident that it's the same. It's associated with, like, it's the same thing. So there's a delay of report of information of possibly up to a decade within this article. I feel confident in what I just stated. On Earth, iron would be worth blah, blah, blah. NASA has brought blah, blah, blah to 2026. NASA has brought the mission launch forward to 2022 and will arrive in 2026. If brought back to Earth, its value would play havoc with commodity prices. And myself, given my personal experience with everything I talked about just now, with what I watched yesterday and what I witnessed in 2013 in the night sky, my first initial reaction to this article and in how it's titled, and the first information presented, is, why would 10,000 billion quadrillion dollar in valued asteroid play havoc on the economy, on the global economy? It seems to me like, if something's that has that much monetary value, that that it's going to boost the economy and help everyone have a more lucrative and pleasant, comfortable financial existence. And so as I read further, and it says it may be 230 million miles away from Earth, but this asteroid could be worth a fortune. So it's almost like they're saying, and this is the questionable thought processes. Even within the validity of the article in the first place. 16 Psyche is one of the most mysterious objects, and scientists could soon be getting close-up views thanks to NASA mission. So it's like, NASA is going public with a need for, and requirement, and application, evidently, for funds to fund a mission that it is really already finished. And either the funds from that find and that have already been distributed, and they're just using it as a vehicle to collect more funds from the non-up-to-date information. If you're at the end of the information disbursement line, and therefore you're at the end of the funding disbursement line, instead of at the front, um, then then you're still in the lower end of the hierarchical system. And then if you, like myself, experienced and witnessed part of this decade old story that's now being presented as real time in 2022 information, you can see the corruption involved. At least I can. And then if your life is being manipulated by people in your life, like for instance my younger sister Leah, and the systems that she's and others are a part of, the reassignment and reassessment, and yeah, Dawn Henderson has this inheritance, but we're going to give it to Leah instead, or we're going to give it to Michelle. If your life is involved in that kind of in corruption, and you with I've had very little control about that. All any of us within what who might be experiencing what I'm experiencing, all we can do is continue to tell our stories and move the corrupt people out of our ways, to be able to step in to be able to bring ourselves into equal portions of financial existence, and our biological children into equal portions of financial existences. But within this article, it's like really, because even if I didn't have this background information and this personal experience, and I was reading this article as new information, and all the information that I have is to assume that it's honest and real-time information, with which, again, I have to reiterate, I believe it isn't. But if I were coming from that position of oh, wait a minute, this article is dated May 26, 2017. But again, even within that, it could have been posted yesterday and date stamped this. So, even within reading the article, you start to realize that, okay, so what they're saying is that the financial collapse, the economic collapse, could come from the overinvestment of something that no nation individually can afford to invest in, and as a collective, like United Nations type of discussion, can't come to agreement within a cultural, international culture, peaceful agreement into everybody. Okay, you put in this much, we'll put in this much, and we'll get this big huge chunk of wondrous and so it comes down to like asking Dave Matthews and 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 Willie Nelson, where did the farm funds go? I mean, it's that kind of thing. Um, so to hold accountable these people, and how did they actually invest the money? Did they invest the money in and claim that they cost so much to go up, and what really happened was that the satellite exploded, the asteroid landed, and now they're presenting an angle whereby they can go up and try to collect funds from the American and the international lesser culture, who think, oh gosh, yeah, that would be great. If I invest, then I'll be contributing and I'll be a part of, and blah 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 blah. And that's our assumption when we're living our lives honestly and naively, and trusting our international and national and local governments. Um, um, so I just wanted to comment on, and still, yet again, I still need an answer to the question as to what is the functional value of gold and or silver within the energy and or space race.